A colorful and very short life really describes John Augustus Hayward. He was born in Hillsboro on October 12th, a son of John Shaw and Harriet Comstock Hayward. We read that he was an invalid, and I don't know what that really meant when he was a child, a very small child, but he did grow and became a very robust, healthy young man. He was fair complexion and very tall, and he had a quick mind, and he was superior in knowing about events of the past and the present, and he was very interested in and quite involved in all the events that he was interested in. He attended the academy in Hillsboro through the age of 17, and as my sister-in-law mentioned, that the father was a great advocate of the education system and did work extensively to procure better education for the children there. He then moved to Pana, and his father set him up in the hardware business where he continued for 3 years. John's father had come to Illinois from Massachusetts in 1812. My husband was an ambitious man, and he realized many successes in career and in finances. And after the hardware business, he switched to the brokerage business, as was mentioned before, and he formed a partnership with H.N. Schuyler, the man who married his sister Adelaide, and they opened a private bank, which was known as the Hayward Schuyler Bank. It was one of the strongest financial institutions in the state of Illinois at that time. John and I were married on October the 3rd, 1871 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I was from. We took a wedding trip to St. Louis, Missouri, and I wanted to tell you that that's where that my mother and father were from Massachusetts and Connecticut, so we moved quite a ways when we came back to this area. My father was E.D. Hood, and he was a well-known horseman in the area. When he passed away, my mother came to live with us and help us raise our family. The state militia came into being organized in 1875, and John organized a local company and was elected captain. Later, he was made colonel of the 5th Illinois Militia and was often referred to as Colonel Hayward. John and I had 4 daughters. Our little Hattie died in infancy. Our other 3 daughters grew to maturity and married prominent men from Pana and Shelbyville. Amy married J.W. Paddock. Ione married Harry Cook. And Laura, my great-grandmother, married Warren Penwell. And as John was like his father, and as I mentioned, was very, very interested in the education of the children in Pana. And he wanted very much to secure a better education for them. So he worked very hard in that part of his life. He was a member of the Masonic Lodge and the Odd Fellows, and he was a leader of both of those organizations at some point in time. He did not choose any particular religious denomination, but he gave generously to all the denominations that were represented in the city of Pana. This is, at the age of 21, he was very aggressive in pressing the exercise of suffrage by the Negro, defying a mob for the right to vote. He was fearless in the defense under the 15th Amendment of the Constitution when an organized force was at the polls to prevent the colored citizens of Pana from dropping their ballots in the box. Due to his continued efforts and everything that he worked for this, he was able to see at a later time the first ballot ever dropped into the box by a colored person in the city of Pana. His bold stand on this made mentioned, he was involved with the St. James Hotel, which was later known, as some of you might remember, if you're as old as I am, the Francis Hotel, which was a multi-story hotel in downtown Pana. The elegant Hayward Opera House was tied in with the hotel complex and was said to have hosted many operas, dramas, and spectacular plays. He had a love for drama and was involved with Colonel Hayward's minstrels and circus shows. Then John went into partnership with A.B. Chablin, and they purchased the adjacent building. It was the Argus, which was a Democratic newspaper, but he changed somehow, I don't know how he got it done, but he changed it over to Republican principles. So that was kind of a funny thing that happened there. The newspaper was named the Pana Weekly Argus, and that was in 1879. This lasted until 1880 when John became the sole owner. At that time he purchased, made new improvements for the paper, and he purchased new steam presses and materials for that enterprise. He was known as a kind-hearted man who was ever ready to lend a helping hand. He was genial and he was pleasant, with easy conversation powers. My dearest John died on a Sunday afternoon in January in our home. It was in 1883, and this was after a prolonged illness, and he was only 34 years old. Pana and Christian County had lost an honorable and effective citizen at his passing, and his memory was cherished by all who knew him. He never really got to see or play with any of our 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. After his death, I tried to stay active socially, and I took an interest in a lot of things in Pana. And thus is the story of John Augustus Hayward. And I thank you all for your attention.